Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode. Today, I'm joined by Frazer Kendall. Me and Fraser go back to the affiliate marketing days where we were both started our online journey a few years ago. In the last year, he's built a TikTok page that has really blown up. But the real reason I wanted to get him on the next chapter today was because Fraser is now 1 year sober, and I wanted to get him on and ask him how it's transformed his life. We're going to be talking about the truth of drinking and what it's cost him, the moment things shifted, what it was like in the beginning, and how sobriety didn't take his life away, but it gave it back. We'll also be getting into manifestation, not the fluffy stuff, but how intention, discipline, and belief has helped him rebuild his identity and create a new reality. So if you're listening and you feel stuck in that loop, then this episode is for you. So for anyone who doesn't know you, Fraser, who are you and what do you do?
I am now an enthusiastic go-getter, action-taking, lover of life. And I have what do I do? I have a successful TikTok. And I also now live in the place that I've always dreamt of living in. And I work at a beach resort surrounded by a wonderful family of people who have really put their arm around me. And I have a wonderful life and wife, and the potential to go places now is massive.
Wow. Okay, we'll get into that then. But your TikTok page, what is it about exactly, Fraser?
It's DIY fixes and hacks in
Okay.
short. Okay, so the idea is to save people money doing the jobs that they can do themselves with a little bit of guidance and a little bit of knowledge. It came from going out to jobs that I was doing thinking, I just know this person can do without having to pay for this right now.
Yeah.
And they could do this themselves. I used to think it's always very awkward when the job's done before the kettle finishes boiling. Do you know what I mean? I'd walk into a job and I'd be like, oh no, it's one of these. It's great for business. It's a 2-second job, or even if it's a half hour job or a job that's not complex. I was thinking these people could be doing it themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, I see that myself. Obviously, I'm a plumber as well, so I do lots of reactive jobs. And yeah, many of these things, if people have got the tools, then they can do it themselves, right?
Yeah, 100%. So my goal with the TikTok is to help people whilst monetizing it and helping myself as well.
Absolutely love it. And your sober date as well. What does 1 year sober mean to you personally?
Man, so much. It means that I know that I can do what I say I'm going to do. I finally give myself some evidence that I can do something, start something and complete something that I set out to do. It's massive for my psychology and my self-respect.
Okay, so take us back. What did life look like before the change?
On the surface, very happy.
Yeah.
And I haven't been a miserable person. I hadn't hit rock bottom.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was just stuck. Life was great. Honestly, in the moment, it was great. Me and my wife enjoy going out. I have lovely family around me. We celebrate every occasion. We don't need much of an excuse. We'll all get together and celebrate. Large part of that, drink.
Yeah.
Enormous. And even myself and Emily were going out. An enormous part of what we were choosing to do was, where can we get a drink?
Yeah. Yeah. I've been there.
But however, behind closed doors, and the aftermath was very different. The regret, the shame, the anxiety, the money spent, the food I ate that I shouldn't have. Why am I doing this to myself? I'm not where I want to be yet. I'm not even close to making a start to being where I want to be. Why am I doing this? And then repeat.
Yeah. Yeah. This is what I got when I first went sober. A lot of people said to me, yeah, but you always seemed like you were fine. They said, "We never knew you had a problem." And my reaction to that was always, it wasn't so much I had a problem, but it was like you said, it's the guilt and the shame. It's who you are behind closed doors. And when you're suffering the next day with that hangover and you've got the anxiety and you're not as productive, you haven't got that same connection with your kids because you're hungover. You want to build the business, you want to grow, you want to be a better person, but I think it holds so many people back.
Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. And
Yeah.
and am I really on the way to being the man that I want to be for my wife, that I promised her I'll be? Give her the life that she's given me a chance. She's an incredible person, and she's given me a chance, and I don't want to ruin that. She loves me, man. She loves me for me, and I know she does because what we've been through and the little that I've had to offer, and she's still with me. With I can feel the love, but I want to give her more.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've got all the things money can't buy. I want to go after it all now.
Yeah. You've got the vehicle now that you're not
Got
drinking.
the vehicle now, mate. I'm in the correct vehicle. I've turned the key. That's it. That's as far. I feel like I've got 6 more gears to go through. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
But at least I'm in the right vehicle now.
It's just the beginning.
Yeah, totally. I honestly believe that. I've got such perhaps a delusional feeling of what I can achieve, but boy, am I going to go for it.
Yeah. I think as entrepreneurs, you need to have that delusional mindset anyway, because if you don't, then you're not going to get there. The
Totally.
I heard a great quote earlier. Actually, I think it's one of Albert Einstein's. It's logic will get you from A to B, but your imagination will get you anywhere.
Love
Or
that.
I was just like, wow, that is amazing. That is it, isn't it? Really, it is.
Yeah,
So
100%.
so what was your relationship like with alcohol? During the week, weekends, was it just celebrations? Was it stress? Was it boredom? Just paint us a bit of a picture.
3. Yeah, it was. Celebrations. Oh, it's a celebration. Time to celebrate. Drink. I've had a stressful week. Drink. What was the other one?
Boredom.
Boredom. Drink. Honestly, it would turn for me. It would turn a night of well, we've got nothing to do tonight into let's have a drink.
Yeah.
Now we have something to do. Let's have a wine. Let's crack open the tinnies. Let's watch some trash on TV and get smashed.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was all free.
It sort of fills a void, I think, but when you go sober, obviously it's it's so tough in the beginning because your life's revolved around alcohol for sometimes decades. For me, that's what it was like. And I've just had my first sober Christmas, probably like yourself, and I remember not having much to do around the house and stuff, and I started to struggle a little bit, and I thought, wow, a big part of my drinking was boredom. I was reverting back because I was just bored. I didn't have anything else to do. And I think it is when you lack purpose, when you've got something to do, when you've got those goals, when you've got other things to do, when you're ambitious, it gives you all that. You get all that back when you go sober, I think.
Yeah, totally agree.
Hmm.
Totally agree. Yeah.
What did it cost you then, Fraser? I mean, what did it cost you that no one else could see?
Uh, Right. Okay. Yeah. The self-respect.
Okay.
I was doing stupid things. I was behaving like a complete wazzock, and those things were coming back to haunt me. I was embarrassing myself when I was drunk, and it was just not having any self-respect. It's not a good place to start with telling yourself that you can achieve something.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I couldn't see myself breaking out of it. It was always going to be who I was, and it was part of my identity being this pillock.
Hmm.
And I'd have things pop up on memories on Facebook that my wife had never seen before, and she was seeing these things. Mate, I was so ashamed,
Hmm.
so ashamed. So it was costing me my belief that I could be better.
It was holding you back. You felt like you were living two different lives almost.
Yeah, kind of. No, I had. I had a second life that I wanted to live. I was being a dreamer.
Yeah.
So I had these goals and ambitions. You can't really call goals and ambitions because I wasn't taking any action. It was just dreaming my way through life. And it was quite a nice place to be because I dream of how good it could be and I wasn't trying to start anything. So I didn't have to deal with any failure and dreaming of what it could be like was actually quite nice.
Yeah.
So I was stuck in my imagination and fantasy of what it could be like if I changed. But I just I wasn't in the right frame of mind. There was just no self respect, anxiety. It was just horrible.
What were you most scared of losing when you stopped drinking? What was holding you back, do you think, from having that courage to take that first step?
Fun. I thought I was giving up fun. I thought I was giving up. I kind of was giving up everything I knew about how to relax, how to celebrate, how to have a good time. I was giving that up. And I hadn't, in my entire adult life, I had known no other way to have a good time. So in my mind, I was sacrificing fun to get started with achieving this distant, distant goal and ambition that I knew I had to change for to accomplish. But I felt like at the time the trade off was trading joy and fun.
Yeah.
That's what I was most scared of. And would I become this boring person nobody wants to be around because I find all my uh, enthusiasm and silliness through drinking?
Did you have a
And
rock?
that's who I was. That's who I was, a silly enthusiast. That's who I was. I was worried about losing that. It's weird, isn't it?
It is
But I knew that's what
strange,
I had to get.
but you build a persona, don't you? I think you build that character, and we do wear lots of different masks. I know at work we're a different person, at home with our partners we're a different person and stuff. So when you go out drinking and you're social, obviously with your friends, lots of people play up and they play different personas, don't they? I think, and when when you go sober and people in the beginning, it's a big shock for your family and friends.
Totally. Yeah. And it's hard to deal with.
It is. Did you have a rock bottom moment though? Was there a moment where you thought that's it, I've had enough, or was it a series of moments? Was it a slow burner?
It's a bit of a mixture. It was building up to the big moment. It was building up to, I'd say it was more of a build up,
Yeah.
consistently letting Emily down on saying I was going to change. And I'd have these aggressive outbursts. Not, I was never physically aggressive with her, but I'd have these aggressive outbursts that was intimidating. And she lost trust in me. I was no longer her safe space. And I was, the last time it happened was the time where I was like, no, 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 time to change. I will end up losing my wife.
It was the fear of losing that relationship. You think it had gone so far that you had to change, or that was
Absolutely.
it?
Without a shadow of a doubt.
Wow.
Without a shadow. Time was passing and time was passing. And this promise of, I'm going to provide this, I want to do that. Just chatting, just talking about it all the time and not taking any action. You know, I'm not where I want to be yet, but at least my wife, she can see that I'm now trying.
Yeah, you're on your way, and that's it.
Yeah, I'm on my way.
What was the hardest part when you first stopped in the beginning, the first week, the first month? What did you really struggle with?
First, first few days was easy because I've always been like that. I'm like, this is it. This is what I'm doing. And I go full steam, full commitment, and then it fizzles out.
Yeah.
So I was like, not having a drink the first few days was fine. However, approaching the first weekend, I say that it kind of sounds a bit contradictory. After 4 days, which is how it normally runs out, my enthusiasm lasts a few days. Approaching the first weekend, I was like, accepting that I just had to waste a weekend on doing nothing and being bored. I felt like, here we go, right, first weekend, no drink, prepare yourself to just give up this weekend. And it felt like that for a little while. I was like, well, what am I going to do?
Hmm.
So that was the hardest part. It was accepting, because in my mind, this is how it was at the time, accepting that I was having to give up my fun, my downtime.
Yeah, it's been such a big part of your life for so long
Yeah.
that you didn't really know who you were without it.
Yep. What I would do, who I was, would I be able to? I mean, I'm a very outdoorsy person. I don't, I am an outdoorsy person. So I knew I could find something there. But with my wife, I don't go and play golf with my wife, or we go for walks and stuff. It turns out that that was a big part of getting into being sober. But yeah, at the time I felt like I was giving up the joy and fun that I was going to have with Emily, for sure.
Mm. What did you replace the alcohol with anything? What did any other cravings come in? Like food, sugar, and stuff like that?
Yeah, food a little bit. Yeah, at the
Coffee?
start, still. I'm still a bit of a coffee junkie. I've got to work on that. But yeah, I found that I expected this big weight loss, miraculous weight loss, but I found that I was replacing it with, I wasn't putting on weight. I just wasn't seeing any change.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was eating a bit more, and instead of reaching for a can of drink, I'd reach for maybe something to eat. It was trying to break a habit.
And you feel like you deserve it as well because you're not drinking.
Yep.
I've just bought a coffee machine actually, and I spent an absolute fortune on it. And I actually told my son last night, I said, well, all the money I saved on alcohol, it's fine. I can do
Yeah, you
it. So
justified.
yeah, so literally years down the line, and I'm still justifying it with stuff like that. So yeah, I completely hear you on that one. So what did you do instead? You mentioned walking. I think a lot of us in the sober community become great hikers and trekkers, don't we? We love a good walk.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
what else did you do on those nights where the boredom or the stress would kick in and you would turn to the can, like you just said?
I'd replace it with starting to make mini achievements,
Okay.
set mini goals, take mini steps. So by this point, oh my God, I was like blasting myself with podcasts, and I love it. I still do. So I was absorbing all this advice and all these tactics and things you can try and do. I had a great quote from Stephen Bartlett. I don't know if he got it from somewhere else, but he said the first steps are so embarrassingly small that we feel like we don't need to take them. And he also said that it's very easy. The steps are so small that they're very easy not to do as well.
Yeah, yeah, so true.
They all accumulate, and they what's the word? Compound.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. He's a
So
big one, isn't he, for the compound effect and the slight edge and the 1% gains because they do build up.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yes. I was replacing it with just accomplishment and yeah, things that were making me give me a dopamine hit through feeling like I was making this giving up drink worth it.
Yeah. Yeah, I can resonate so much with that, and I love Stephen Bartlett's, podcast as well, Diary of the CEO.
Yeah.
Yeah, that has been I listen to it twice a week, every week. Yeah, it's been a real game changer for me, and that was one of the first podcasts that I started listening to. What do you say then, Fraser, when people ask you if you'll ever drink again? Because that's one that I get quite often.
Yeah.
What do you say when people ask you that?
I I give a very uh maybe,
Yeah,
I don't know. It's going well for me at the moment. Probably, but looking at how my life has changed, maybe not. And that's it. I tend to give that because if I give a oh God no, then it opens up to oh really? What is
yeah,
it? I just can't be bothered with it anymore.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So I try not to give them too much to work with. You know what I mean? I say a lot, I say a lot without saying anything,
Mm,
and
yeah,
it kind of shuts it down. And I just say to them, maybe not. It's going well for me at the moment, so um, probably not. And then I just move on.
move on. Yeah, because yeah, if you say definitely not 100% because I feel better because of X, Y, and Z, then it can make them feel bad, and you can yeah.
Yes, it can. It can. You can start to feel a bit of abrasiveness, and they start projecting their insecurity. No, it's not an insecurity. It's like they start projecting their why. Oh, yeah, I know I shouldn't be doing this. Why can I not do that? I guess just it creates a bit of a friction
Mm.
between. Yeah, I don't like doing that because it's look at me, look what I can do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't wanna trigger people, do you? And
No.
create that negative energy. You don't want that. You wanna keep it I really struggled with it in the beginning. I'm not gonna lie. I've said this on here before that, when I first went sober, my wife kept saying to me, "Luke, you've gotta stop being so judgmental and preaching." And I would say, "Yeah, but when you feel this good and this transformation that I've gone through, you wanna sing it from the rooftops. You wanna tell people." So when they ask you these questions, I can't. I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to lie. If they really push it and press, then I'm going to say it. But I think it's really really tough because you don't want to come across judgy, and you can say one thing and it can really upset people, like you just said.
Yeah, yeah. I totally agree, and I came to the realization that I am not going to be able to change them. They're going to have to want to change. And I'm just going to be met with resistance if I try and tell them how great it is and how much more I'm achieving. And I'm just going to take care of number one. And if they see what's happening to me and want a piece of it and ask for help, I'm there, man. But until I've given up trying to tell people how great it is. Honestly, I have.
Yeah, I know. I know, mate. I know. I hear you. Yeah, it's so true.
I think people get used to feeling like crap.
They do. Yeah, they normalize it. But I've got friends and they say, "Oh, I've never been a hungover. I don't know why you bitch and moan about being a hungover when you were drinking, Luke, because I've never been a hungover." And I'm just like, "Wow." I said, "Well, you've normalized feeling a hungover." I said, "If you felt like I feel now, then you'd be like, oh my God, well, you compare it to a drug because you feel like a teenager again. But again, you're going to trigger them, you're going to upset them, and it's not going to end well for you, especially when they're drinking, which they are 9 times out of 10 when you're out with them in a social situation. So, yeah, it never goes down very well, does it, Fraser? So, how do you handle pubs, weddings, and your mates taking the piss? We've mentioned friends and comments already. So, social events. Most of the other clients that I work with, they really, really struggle. I think I've spoke to you about this before as well. You've got good intentions, and then you get to a social event, and you automatically slip back into those habit loops, and you go straight to the bar and you order a pint of lager or whatever, and you're like, shit, I didn't want to do that, but you're sort of on yeah, you're sort of on that habit loop, I guess. How do you do you drink alcohol-free lager, and for example, and how do you handle those pubs?
I'll tell you what, I'll tell you a story before I quit drinking.
Okay.
I tried a few times. I did all right. Couple of weeks, 3 weeks, a month. I think one time I maybe pushed even closer to 2 or 3 months. And I went to, it was a birthday party at a golf club. And I turned up and I was like, fucking result. It's like, result, they've got a non alcoholic on draft. And I love that because you stood there with a pint. You stood there with a pint. You're not stood there with a bottle that says zero. You know what I mean? So I was still, and I still get it actually. I still get self conscious and about the judgment. I still struggle. Anyway, they had this non-alcoholic on draft. I was sat there, stood there at the bar. There were some acquaintances, like friends of friends, who I should have. I should give them no power over what I think about myself. And they were talking. They went, "Oh, look, they've got I think it was San Miguel Zero on draft or something like that." And one of them went, "Oh yeah, it's for gays." And I was like next to order, and they were still at the bar, and I ordered an alcoholic drink because I was worried about what they thought about me ordering an alcoholic drink. How pathetic is that?
Yeah. Well, it's not pathetic. It it's so common, mate. And I've been there as well, mate. I have been there.
It's mad. And it's a friend of a friend. And I caved. My night was looking like a solid, sober night because they had non-alcoholic on draft. And I caved at the very first order. Fuming, mate. I had little things like that was building up to me quitting because I was thinking, why am I being such a pussy? Do you know what I mean? Why am I caring about what these people think? It's hard. It's difficult to not feel like that.
It is difficult, but to become the person you are now, you had to do that. It's all part of
Yeah.
the journey. As corny as cliche as that sounds, that's the truth.
That was my path. That was what was going to give me the internal whatever it was I needed to actually go through with it.
Yeah, you're building the evidence, aren't you? The belief and the evidence that you can do
Yeah,
this, and you've got to go
yeah,
through the shit
yeah.
to get there.
So that was the struggle, and then ever since, and still to this day, I still struggle with social events. Not I don't struggle with having a good time. I struggle with being a non-drinker because I used to think it. Oh, God, he doesn't drink. Oh, he's not my type. I won't get on with him. He's not a drinker. No. And now I'm that person who's the non-drinker, and I have to face all the idiots like I was judging someone for not drinking,
It's the fear of
and it's
judgment.
it is. I'm a very confident person. I guess I do care what people think. I do, as much as I would like to think I don't.
Mm.
I'm not afraid to get up and have a go at things and worry about failing and maybe looking like getting a little bit embarrassed about trying something, but I care what people think. It's really bad. It's
Mm.
hard. That's what I struggle with, and family. It's just as bad. We prefer you when you drink.
Yeah, that's one that.
I had that early on.
Yeah,
Oh, come on, drink next time. We prefer you when you drink.
it's a horrible comment. That's so spiteful.
Jesus wept, man. It was like it's just like really, and that makes you.
Yeah. Again, though, it's just a projection of their insecurities, like you said before. That
Mm,
100%. Yeah,
yeah,
they are looking at you and they're thinking, "Wow, I could never do that." They really
yeah.
are.
I, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, things like I think they'd be heartbroken. I think they'd be heartbroken if they knew
Mm.
because my family are very loving. I'm not from a an unsupportive family with a close knit group, but our social events, it's all built up around getting loose, having a drink, big hugs and singing around, which I do now anyway. And I've learned how to let go and just
Mm.
enjoy it. But yeah, comments like, "You having one of your silly drinks, are you?"
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I so I've been sober coming up to a year and a half now, and
Well, mate.
yeah, I really struggled with the social events in the beginning, obviously, and then I've just been on my first stag do, which I was really dreading, to be honest.
Man, that's the mega one.
Yeah, it was. It was really, really big, and obviously there's a lot of heavy drinkers there. Heavy drinkers that I've known since primary school, really old friends, and I've had a lot of
Uh-huh.
comments in the past about me not drinking, all of the stuff that you've just been talking about, and I was dreading the comments from a few different people, but it went so well, and a lot of the time we really do we ruminate, we overthink things, don't we? I had the odd comment, I think, but I think the worst one was I came in with an alcohol-free lager, and you couldn't, and it was just in a normal glass, so you couldn't see the label. And one of my friends said, "Oh, look, James is back." And I was like, "What?" And he said, "Oh," he said, "You're drinking, aren't you?" And I said, "Oh, it's alcohol-free." He's, "Oh, right." And I'm like, "Oh," yeah, I was like, "You bastard." But yeah, that was as bad as it got, but I thought it was gonna get worse, but it didn't, to be honest. Yeah, the first couple of times, like really, really close friends, they really, really struggled to
Mm.
deal with me not drinking because I had drank with them for decades and it was part of what we'd done. So Yeah, it's really tough for us, but it's obviously it's tough for the people around us as well to adjust and to adapt to the new us, I think.
Totally agree. And I can so resonate with that. It's tell you what, my uncle and auntie came down to see me. So I'm living in Cornwall now. Well, they were passing through. He was doing some audits in the area. They were like, "I'll come and join us." About you saying you build it up in your head.
Yeah.
You can almost create this negative thought that you think they're thinking.
Yeah, that's right. You do.
On the way home, we went to meet them at a hotel. It was lovely. We sat, we had a chat. I had a Guinness Zero, which is like a game changer for me, by the way. I wasn't even a Guinness drinker. I'd never had Guinness. I've never had an alcoholic Guinness, but it's my thing now. It usually comes in a pint. It feels substantial. I love it. And on the way home, I was saying, God, was I boring? Were they thinking I was boring? Were they wondering, do you think they'll be saying now that I wasn't myself, my wife was like, no, that it would have been weird to have been. She says I'm extrovert enough anyway. That any more, if I'd had a beer and been any more, it would have been inappropriate. There was a fella singing in the corner. He was really good actually. It was a live band night, and we were just sat in there chilling. No need to drink. I came away paranoid that they were thinking that I was boring.
Yeah.
I was, and they, I doubt they were thinking that at all. Do you build it up in your head?
Was that recently as well, or is this going back?
Last night,
Really?
I
Okay.
still struggle, mate.
You still struggle with that? Yeah.
I just got to be honest.
Yeah.
I still struggle.
That will get better though, definitely.
It is getting better. Yeah, it is. I will now go to, because I've done some big uns. I've done a Christmas.
Yeah.
I've done a Wembley day out, big
Yeah.
football day out. I've done it was like a hoedown. So it was like everyone had to dress up and cowboys and cowgirls. There was a rodeo ball. There was line dancing. It's the type of event I would go to, get sozzled, have an amazing time. And I've been through some massive events. And now I turn up, I rock up and just enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know I'm going to have a good time, even though I'm not drinking. So things are getting better for sure. But then I come away from things like last night and there's still some, will I ever get over it? Because I was thinking, oh God, it was very intimate. And I was thinking, was I loose enough? Was I fun enough? It's weird.
Yeah, it builds and builds in your head, and then you get more and more anxious, and then I suppose it gets worse and worse and worse, doesn't it? But and I think that's a big reason why we do drink as well, because it's the anxiety, isn't it? It's a social lubricant. I was talking to someone on that stag do, and they said socially they are very anxious and they drink to relax and to give them confidence and to have fun. And you're just stuck in that loop, aren't you, all the time?
Yeah. Because it works in the moment.
It does work in the
It does the
moment,
job very well.
but it's the aftermath, isn't it? That's the problem.
After, mate, this is the thing. This is the struggle for me. I don't want to kid myself. And I'm just going to be honest. This is just how I feel. I crave having a drink
Hmm.
on a night out in the moment. I will enjoy that moment. I will. The alcohol will trick me. I will give me a dopamine hit. It will give me a synthetic high. I will have a good night and I will enjoy it. And then all hell breaks loose.
Yeah,
Everything else after it isn't worth it. So
freedom.
I'm now learning how to tell myself that it just won't be worth it. And it took a while because I wasn't seeing any evidence.
Yeah, yeah. It's playing the tape forward. I always say to clients, just play the tape forward. How's this going to end? It's never going to end well. It really isn't. But your mind tricks you, doesn't it? And your brain's so used to doing the same thing, and your brain loves routine and it loves habits. And if you've been
Yeah.
doing it for so long, it just tells you, "Oh, it'll be fine. Just have one." And that's what all your
Yeah.
mates are also saying, aren't they? And that's it.
Yeah.
Bang, and you're back to square one. But you've got to go through all these steps to get there, just like we were
You do.
saying before.
And it's just a year. I'm just being honest about how I feel. It's only a year. I'm still learning I'm still thinking that I would enjoy a drink.
Yeah.
that hasn't gone. I've been drinking since I was 16. Just what's happening to my life, mate. I just can't believe what it's doing for me. I can't believe it. It's just everything that's happening is because I'm not drinking.
Okay, so what is happening, Fraser?
This doesn't sound like a big deal, but you might appreciate it. But you've relocated, mate, to my habitat. I live by the coast.
I know, it's amazing, isn't it?
I live by the sea. I love it. I can't believe it. Me and my wife would always dream about it and think, will we ever get there? But it took a lot.
It
It
does.
took us to convert a horse box trailer into a catering trailer and think we'll head to Cornwall with our trailer. That took many, many sober weekends of hard work. That hoedown I was talking about, that party, that was where we kept our trailer and on a place called Tweedledown. It was a horse race place. It was the lady that owns it. It was her party. 7:30 the next morning, I was back at that trailer building it. That would never have happened. I would have wasted that whole day. So I got my trailer built, which took a lot of hard work. That would not have happened if I wasn't drinking.
Yeah.
Sold my flat, pushed forward with that. We moved in with Emily's parents. They wouldn't have tolerated me sitting there drinking. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
I went to the gym. I started getting in better shape. So I'm now here. I've started making money, like proper money online. Everything has changed, but that took a little while. And I was saying to Emily, I was like, look, a month or two in, I was like, where's this magic? When does it become worth it? Why am I doing it? Still waiting. And then as time went by, Emily was like, please take a minute just to look at how our life has changed, how you've changed, how things are changing. I was like, yeah, just the longer it went on, the easier it becomes to resist the temptation of having a drink.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the evidence is too strong for me to risk it all on having on this sounds extreme, doesn't it? But poisoning myself.
Yeah. Which essentially you are. It is a toxic substance. So
You are. Well,
it's a drug as
I
well
don't
that
want
people don't like to hear, but it is.
a drug. It's a
Yeah.
drug. It is. And it's a very addictive drug.
Yeah.
But
It's
my
just
life has turned around.
it's so socially acceptable. That's why people, and we've been conditioned to think, to normalize it. That's why people hate hearing that, and they think that, yeah, we're being judgmental, etc., because everyone does it. But but essentially it is. People
Yeah.
don't like to hear that. And I would have hated to have heard that a few years ago. Even 2 years ago, I would have laughed at you and said, "Oh my God, get a grip, man, have a drink and settle down."
100%. It would have been get a grip. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Who's that bloke? Bloody hell. Who put PP in the boring twat? That's you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, he might be a boring twat though, but he's happy and he's building a business and he's
But they're
fulfilled and
not.
he
They
and he
weren't.
got
I just, yeah. The people aren't boring that don't drink. It's just you get in that, you get trapped in that cycle of, unless you're sat there. Now I go out on social events with my mates and go to these. All I see is people's eyes just
yeah,
get heavier. They get a little bit more slurry and loose. And I think I used to be like that. I don't want to be like that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like the longer I've been sober and the more times I've gone out with family and friends drinking, it puts you off drinking. I think because you really you really see what you used to be like, don't you? It
Yeah.
holds that mirror up and nothing decent happens after midnight, does it? You can slip
No.
off after a couple of drinks. You can slip off, and I think when you're drinking, a lot of it is you stay in the same place because you alcohol makes you tolerate it because you wouldn't if you were sober you wouldn't sit around drinking in a pub for 6 hours plus or whatever non-stop, would you? You'd have a couple, you'd say what you had to say, and then you move on. But yeah, yeah, we're social creatures, aren't we? It's funny. Manifestation then, Fraser. I remember your videos back in the day, when we were working as affiliate marketers at Launch You. What does it mean to you? And do you still practice any manifestation at all? Visualization, journaling, meditation, stuff like that?
Yeah. Okay. So I am a firm believer that all of those are utterly useless without action.
Yeah. Taking inspired action, as I say.
Brilliant. Love that. Yeah. Inspired action. It gives you the visualization is a big thing for me. And then take action just take some action towards that thing you're visualizing. And I can guarantee how much you visualize how it's going to go to get there is not going to go like that anyway, but you just learn and just roll with it. You just got to roll with it. Yeah. So I think manifestation for me is turning a dream into a goal by taking action towards it. And you see it starts becoming reality, and you think, call it what you like. Let's just use the word manifest. It's turning your dreams and goals into reality by feeling it.
So your big move, just for some context, it's just for my listeners to get some sort of, it's because I try and explain manifestation to people, and I know a lot of people think it's just all woohoo and it's all spirituality
Hip,
nonsense.
hippie shit. Yeah.
Yeah, they do, don't they?
Yeah.
And I say about in taking inspired action, but obviously you've got to create that belief, and that belief's got to be so strong. And then when it's really, really strong, then you can take the inspired action and you can create micro steps and you can move towards your North Star. That's the way I look at it. What
Right.
for you with your move, say your move to Cornwall, what was the first thing that you did? What was the first thing that you visualized? What was the first step for you in that move?
The horsebox trailer dream.
Yeah. Okay.
They're turning it the catering trailer. And we thought about it
Yeah.
and we looked at it. We started looking at horse boxes. We bought one. And all of a sudden, this life that we've been manifesting
Yeah.
/ dreaming,
Yeah.
before we started taking action, it was a dream. We started manifesting it because we were visualizing it, and we started taking steps, which then gave the subconscious evidence that we were on our way there. Very hard to tell your subconscious to believe your bullshit if you're not taking any action.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell your subconscious that this is going to happen to you. Well, give it a reason to believe it. That's my opinion. So yeah, we the horsebox thing, getting that built, getting that made was like, okay, we can go to this might actually happen.
Yeah. It's stacking those beliefs, isn't it? And stacking the evidence and taking action. We've recently purchased a puppy. And one of the reasons about moving to the coast to the Isle of Man was to get a dog. And we were in a shop a couple of months ago, and about 6 months ago now. And I remember looking at all the puppy toys. You know, those things you can get the ball on a big stick and you sort of throw it and the ball goes really, really far. I don't know what they're called. But anyway, I just bought that. And my wife said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm manifesting our dog." and
That's
and
so.
and and she just laughed. You know,
I bet she did.
she's always laughing at me. And I said, "This is a great example of manifestation." I said, "You can call it what you want, but this is making the dream a reality." I said, "You keep doing little things like this, then you'll do it." And yeah, I just think that's a good example of what manifestation is.
100%. 100%.
You've
Love
got
that.
you've got to
Back
have
with the ball, come back with a ball launcher. This is going to happen.
exactly,
Mr. Ball.
yeah. It's like,
Mr. Ball.
look, I didn't buy this for nothing. We are gonna get a dog now. That's it. We're not
Love it.
going back. I'm not taking it back. That's it.
Love that.
So, moving on to the TikTok journey, Fraser. When did it start and why?
Because I was searching for a way out of my current trading time for money situation.
Okay, you're 9 till 5.
9 to 5.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I started Fix It with Fraz long before the golf thing, and I sort of dipped a toe in that. Then I went off to the golf niche, which was fun. I enjoyed it. It wasn't gaining much traction, wasn't going where I wanted it to go. Then I thought, right, let's be real here. Like I discussed with you earlier, although it's not my passion, I still have a passion for helping people and trying to make people's lives better. And the repairs TikTok could do that. So although it's not my passion, the repairs side of things, I don't have a passion for washing machines and dishwashers, but I have a passion for helping people. And if I've got to fix machines doing that, then so be it. And it started taking off. So I went back to it and I was like, whoa, hang on a minute. I was like, oh, I don't want to be successful in this niche. I was like, oh man, I was like, I want to be a golf influencer. I want to go to the, BMW competition and be invited and play on that. And yeah, I was like, I want to be friends with McElroy.
Yeah.
So it was a big trade off to think, right, okay, let's be serious here. I can actually achieve my monetary financial goals whilst helping people. Two things line up. If the third one, has to be a sacrifice, and so be it. But it just so turns out I'm actually enjoying it.
But you
Even
can, but when this works, then you can play more golf anyway.
I
So
can.
that's what it's all about, right?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
We spoke about this before we hit record. I think in the self-development space, a lot of gurus say, don't they, that you got to follow your passion, do something you love every day, and you'll never work another day in your life, and all of this sort of stuff. But sometimes your passion, it doesn't work. If you can't monetize it, if there's not a market there for it, then you have to go down a different road. And I think but you've learned that. Just like with your journey going sober, you had to try that before you got to where you are now.
Yeah. Totally agree. Totally agree. Yeah. Yeah, it was leading me down. I could just see relatively quickly that it wasn't going to go where I wanted it to go. And I was being real with myself about so you can be careful about how much energy you put into it. If you genuinely if I thought to myself, if I go forward with full belief, full energy, not necessarily full belief, but if I go full energy and full action, and I still don't believe that it's going to work, then listen to that.
Yeah, it's on the back of your mind.
Yeah, yeah. But I know if I go forward with this, with full energy and full action, this will work. And it's beyond proving that it can work, but I still feel like I've just got the key in the ignition. I haven't even shoved it into first gear yet. And it's super exciting.
How has sobriety affected your consistency then and your confidence on camera?
Massively, massively. Yeah. Consistency being the one.
Consistency is key, they say. So true, isn't it?
Consistency is key. If I was hungover, I'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah, you're putting that off.
Yeah, I can't do it tonight. I just can't. Honestly, it would be all that. And I feel those things anyway.
Yeah.
Sometimes I
Yeah.
feel like, Christ, it's like, oh, I've got to do a video. But come on, get up and do it. Whereas if I was hungover or having a beer, I wouldn't be able to.
No. No.
There's one of my videos, one of my early videos, showing how to take a machine off child lock. And I remember how hungover I was on that. It was one of my earliest ones way before I'd quit drinking. And my energy was low and my eyes were heavy. I was like that. And I was thinking, man, you look how you felt. And I look at it now and I feel like I seem more vibrant. I feel slimmer. I feel less inflamed. I
Yeah.
feel healthier. I feel I communicate better. There's more energy coming off me. I just feel so much better for it. And it's crazy, man. Like I say, you don't want to preach to people because it lands on deaf ears most of the time, doesn't it? But you kind of feel like screaming it from the rooftops, but
Yeah, you do. Definitely.
because it feels that good.
Yeah, it does. I look back at old pictures myself now and I can see the puffy face and yeah, you can't see the jawline as much and the bloodshot eyes and yeah, but it is so tough, mate. It is so tough not to be judgmental. But just me creating my own content, obviously when we first started at Launch You as affiliates and we were doing our videos and stuff, I've noticed a massive difference. Obviously I've learned so much in the last few years anyway, but that's obviously come with all the practicing and stuff. But there's levels to this, isn't there? And when you're sober, you can really hit those higher levels, of course.
Absolutely. Especially doing what you do. Sitting there with a sluggish brain is not
No,
is not key for doing a podcast.
no, no, no,
It's
no,
just not, is it?
no, no. Well, I would never be able to do this hangover. You couldn't do that
No.
hangover, could you?
Just go well for you, would it?
No, you need to be on the ball. You need to be fully present. And
Don't you?
when you're hungover, your head's just not there, is it? You're somewhere else. So, some quick fire questions. What is one non-negotiable habit for you now that you incorporate every day to spend
The consistency.
consistency?
Do one thing. Do something. Like today, as an example, I've had a busy day. I've come in, I had to take care of the dog, had to get some bits for dinner, didn't have time to make a video, but I've posted a video on Instagram because I've started on Instagram now.
Okay.
I'm trying to build that up. So I'm just sort of harvesting my old videos and posting one of those a day.
Okay.
I've made some move forward.
Yeah.
So I've done. So that is my non-negotiable. Do one thing, be it tiny. Tomorrow's a big day, but today was just a tiny move, and that's okay because sometimes life gets in the way.
Yeah.
And just do something. That's my non-negotiable. Do something that's taking me that little step further. And you don't know when you post a video, it could take you a lot closer to where you want to be.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
So
right.
it's non-negotiable. One thing, at least one thing every day.
Build that consistency. Yeah. So powerful.
100%.
What's one thing that helped you the most in early sobriety?
One thing that helped me the most was my wife.
Having that support.
Having that support. You can do this. And it's kind of tricky because she still drinks.
Yeah. Yeah.
But she was very supportive. We'd get out, we'd walk. We'd have the trailer. That was key. When we became busy with the trailer, that was pretty important.
Do you think
Yeah.
do you think she's seen a big change in you since you've gone sober?
Cannot tell you. I have. Can I grab the card?
Of course you can.
I don't mind me sharing it. Bear with me a sec.
Yeah, no worries.
Forgive me. This is a bit long. Okay. This
Okay.
just gives you an idea. This is when so proud of you. Okay. So I came home to a big one balloon to this card, and this sums up what's changed she's seen. She said, what can I, dear Fraz, what can I say? I just had to take this moment to tell you how beyond proud of you I am. 65 days, London days out, parties, football days, race days, birthdays, holidays, Christmas, barbecues, gatherings. We've done it all completely sober. I can't begin to tell you how proud I am against all possible judgment. And I know there has been some. You have stayed completely true to yourself. When you started this, it was almost like there was going to be one single moment that was going to change or be completely different, which was never the reality. However, to now stand here and look back at where you are now, 365 days later, and what you have achieved and how different your life is in that time frame, it's astonishing. Completely relocated to a new place that we dreamt of for years, started earning some decent money online, but as a dream, a dream since lunch trailer, that Emily comes home with a different dream. She has a dream since lunch, we call it. She's like, I've got this dream of the trailer was a dream since lunch, and the business looking at a serious TikTok income and a life, and with nearly 100,000 followers with enormous scope and potential. When you look at it for what it is, I'm speechless. Never did I think life could change quite so much in a year. I'm beyond proud of you. I know the true sacrifice that has gone into this, and I really can't truly express my gratitude for going after the life we both dream of. Watching your determination and drive change over this last year has been so inspiring and infectious. I love you more than you'll ever know, and proud of you, and more proud of you than I can put into words. Go after it all, Fraz. It's within touching distance. Love you. Well done. Your Ems.
Man, that's amazing.
That sums it up, mate. That tells you what change she's seen.
My God, it's massive.
That's who I've got in my corner. Do you know what I mean?
There must have been a really, really big change, Fraser, I think, from what she said there.
Enormous, mate, in my attitude, my temperament. I'm a very kind. I like to think I'm a kind person, enthusiastic and well mannered, and think. But when I was hungover and feeling guilty and shameful, it would come out in aggressive spurts and spite. Sometimes have a spiteful tongue, and I would take out my frustration in some weird ways. And I have that's totally changed me, mate. Going sober has totally changed my energy.
I think I've spoke to many different people, former alcoholics and people who had really bad drink addictions on this podcast, and a couple of them have said that they completely disagree with what a lot of people say about alcohol, that it brings out the true you, and people say what they really think when they drink. But I don't agree with that at all. After speaking to so many different people, I think it really brings out a really dark side of you, and it's like you're somebody else almost.
Yeah, totally agree. Totally agree. It brings out. I wasn't like the worst drunk, but you're right. It wasn't who I am. I'm an ambitious chap that wants to go after life and breathe in the fresh air and swim in the sea and walk in the woods and have the clarity of mind to enjoy it all. That's who I am. Not the bloke that's laying on the sofa with bloodshot eyes because he's been getting smashed last night and yeah, I just can't tell you how the drunk me isn't the real me. It's really not.
Incredible, mate. Incredible transformation. So,
Mm.
any blokes that are listening to this who are still drinking heavily, and they feel like they're stuck, what would you say to them?
I would say be honest with yourself. Prepare yourself to feel like you're sacrificing something you like because it's going to take a little while to build some evidence that it's worth it. That's what I would say. Hang in there until you start seeing, you might not see the change, for a little while. Just hang in there and start taking some little steps towards who you want to be. If you don't know what that is yet, get in the gym, get outside, get walking, get active, and the inspiration will come.
Movement is medicine, I say all the time.
Absolutely. But for that person that's drinking and they feel stuck, get unstuck. Keep the sometimes I think it's good to keep a beer in the fridge. I did that for a while
Okay, that's interesting.
because yeah, I kept a beer in the fridge because knew that every time I went to the fridge, I had the opportunity to break what I said I was going to do, and I didn't. Not just because it wasn't there, because I was choosing not to pick up that beer. So immediately you start building a bit of evidence
That's good.
that you're under control. You've got control of yourself.
That's that's really, really interesting, because the first thing I said to my wife was, "I'm sorry, I know you still drink, but can you get that stuff out of the house? Because I'll just end up drinking it."
Yeah.
But that was in the beginning. Now there is alcohol in the fridge and there is alcohol in the house, and I'm not tempted by it at all anymore. But in the beginning, I had to get it out of the house because I'm one of those. I'm all or nothing, and yeah,
Sure.
I did struggle in the beginning, to be honest. What advice would you give your younger self if you could go back, knowing all you know now? Then, Fraser.
Okay. I gave this some thought
Yeah.
because I advice from my younger self, knowing what I know now, have your drink, get out your system, do something you're not proud of, go out, get smashed, learn how that feels. Take your nice memories that you get from it, but know that it feels like shit. Honestly, and then think about seriously about what you want and if alcohol is going to take you there or is it not going to take you there. The answer will be obvious. So the advice to my younger self, before the age of 25, this is personally, this isn't what I don't think this is the advice I would give to anybody else. But what I don't want to feel like is I'm looking back with too much regret. Do you know what I mean? Because I have had a lovely life. I've had a lovely life. But I kind of wish I'd started on this path a little bit earlier.
Yeah. Yeah. I think a
Because I
lot
give,
of us do.
yeah, give myself to the age of 25, be an idiot, do what I want, spend all my money, go traveling, just carefree. And then 25, I should have realized that I'm not going to where I want to be. So buck your ideas up, put the drink down and start doing some positive things.
Just stuck on autopilot for decades I was. And yeah, I look back now and I don't regret it because obviously they say, don't they, it creates the person that you are today. But I wish I would have started on this journey so much earlier. But again, I'm very grateful that I have started it at all because I know people who are 10, 20 years ahead of me and they're still doing the same thing. They're still living the same life on repeat. They're not doing anything different. And yeah, just only in the last few years, I've grown so much and I've done so much. So, but I hear you completely. That really, really resonates with me.
Yeah.
So, where can people find you, follow you, and support what you're building? And what does the next chapter look like for you?
So you can find me on TikTok, Fix It with Fraz. If they've got a problem at the moment, they might find that there's a video on there that will help them. If they don't currently have a problem, I have no doubt that one day something will pop up, inevitably something will break, and hopefully it will help them. So they can find me on TikTok and Instagram. Thank you. Yeah. So they can find me there. Lots of help, and we'll continue to add new videos and new help. What's next is quite exciting for me, potentially. So this is where I would normally sit there and dream about how it will go so well and not take any action for fear of it not going as well as I thought. So tomorrow, as well as doing the fixes on machines and little DIY fixes and hacks around the home, I'm pivoting to teach people the fundamental DIY skills.
Wow. Okay.
Right back to basics. Right back to basics to empower people to, if they want to hang the hanging baskets on the outside wall, they know what size hole to drill using what drill bit for that material. They know which raw plug goes in with what size screw. Right back to basics. How to put the drill bit in the drill. Just, I want to really help people build a set of skills to tackle jobs without having to find that specific job that they're looking to do. So if they think, oh, I need to learn how to hang a hanging basket, they go and find a video that shows them how to hang a hanging basket, but they don't actually know why they're doing what they're doing. I want to give people the skills, DIY skills to do. If a job pops up, I can do that. I can hang that shelf. Knock on the wall. Oh, that sounds like plasterboard. I know what to use there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Really breaking it down.
Oh, mega. I feel that's what I'm quite good at in my videos. I've got a feeling that's why they've done so well. Very good at converting it in layman's terms.
Yeah. Yeah.
How are they thinking? They don't know. They don't know what. They might even know what the word masonry means.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm
Because it's all, I mean, obviously I've been a tradesman for 20 years. So it's, you think that everyone everyone would know what masonry is, wouldn't you? You'd assume because it's part of your identity. It's literally
yeah.
it's something that you've probably heard every day for a long, long time, for decades. But not everyone knows this stuff, do they? Not everyone's aware. So yeah.
Some of my simplest videos are the ones that have helped people the most. It's made me realise that so many people are completely clueless when it comes to.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think they are. And then they end up paying tradesmen a lot of money to do simple little jobs.
They're over the barrel, mate. But if you can empower people with a basic skill set, then it gives them a chance of doing those little jobs themselves without having to pay someone, and it's going to make them feel king or queen of their own castle.
Exactly, yeah. And then it can build. They can learn how to drill a hole and then they can do something else and they can go from hanging a shelf to fitting a bookcase to doing, well, it can build, right?
That the space on the wall that they've been looking at thinking, oh, it'd be lovely to have a shelf there that they've never got around to doing because they can't afford to pay someone to do it and they haven't got a bloody clue how.
Yeah.
Little
No,
things like that.
no, it's really, really powerful stuff what you're doing, mate. Thank you so much for coming on today. I absolutely love your TikTok page,
Thank
obviously.
you.
But you're helping so many people, mate, and it's such a good idea as well. So keep up the great work, and you've inspired me as well, mate. So I've really got to pull my finger out. And but since the affiliate marketing days, mate, you've done so well. So thank you so much, and thanks for coming on and sharing your story, being honest, being vulnerable, and I know it's going to help so many of my listeners, Fraser. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you for having me. I've been really looking forward to it, and it's been a real finished goal for me. It's been the finish line. I wanted to get on this podcast. I wanted to complete my year. So you might not know it, but you've been a big help to me.
Thank you.
You've been there on a good few occasions where I've just about to go into a party or I've come out and I've messaged you. I've said, I can't believe I've done this. And you've been there for me. So thank you. Keep doing what you're doing because you're helping people. And it's great. And it's been a pleasure to be on here.
No worries, Fraser. And I'll definitely get you back on because there's so much more. We only touched on manifestation, and that is a massive thing for me. I'd love to get you back on, and there's so many different things we can talk about. So, yeah, you'll definitely be coming back on at some point, mate. Anyway, okay?
I'd love to. Thank you very much.
Brilliant. Thank you, I keep calling you Spencer. I don't know why.
That's weird. I get called Spencer.
Why? Why do
Honestly,
I call you Spencer for?
people slip up with that. Like people have called me Spencer in the past. There must be something with that. Fraser, I don't know.
Fraser,
Spencer.
Spencer. Thank you so much for coming on today, Fraser. It's been brilliant.
Thank you.
Cheers,
Really
mate.
enjoyed it. Thanks for having me on.